Julia, welcome to the Silverado Today show.
Thank you.
So nice to have you. For those of you who don't know, and I'm sure most all of you do know, Julia Smith is our incoming president for the board of directors for the Silverado Country Club members. And I'm delighted to have you today. You've got a lot of stuff that you've been working on in the last 4 to 5 weeks. And I thought it would be nice to share it with our members so that they can understand what you've got cooking this year and sort of the way you've structured things with the rest of the board. So to start off, why don't you introduce us to the board this year and let us know who they are.
Oh, great. You know, and I appreciate having the opportunity to talk live. I mean, it's much better than just the emails that we've been sending. So the vice president is Mark Cook. He was on the board last year and took care of greens, but he's moving to membership with the vice president position. Doug Carlson is our treasurer, returning again to finish his term out next year. We have really some talented leadership. Mallory McGilligan is our social chair. We have Tim Tejan as our green committee, and he's a very experienced golfer here on campus. We also have Matt McElvoy, who is our communications director, and he's hit the ground running. Randy Barkin is now taking care of House, which is the members clubhouse. We've reinstated that position that was part of social the last few years. And of course, returning for representing golf is Dennis Smith and Peggy Murawski.
Great. You've got a good team, a very good team, very engaged, very experienced in their areas of expertise. So one of the things that we've started to do in the past, but I think you've really expanded, would you share with our membership the whole idea of the committee structure and the reason behind it and how interested members can actually get involved and be part of these committees? Yeah,
I'm excited about the committees that have already started to be formed. All of our directors have hit the ground running with scheduling activities and reaching out to form their committees. The committees will help us to engage membership in our programming and understand what their unmet needs are, as well as have them represent and be part of the activities that we've got going across all of the different groups. I think it's important as well because that's where our successors for future board members come from.
Smart. So succession planning, I know in the past, just some of the individuals who have helped support the directors have moved into director positions. So I do think that's a pretty smart thing.
Peggy's a great example of that.
That's right, Peggy Murawski. She was Suzanne Harrison's right-hand person with mixed golf, and yeah, that's a great one. Talk about, in the past, we've had lots of conversations around this whole issue of bylaws and the need to update the bylaws. And I know that, and many of our members know that you were instrumental in sort of moving that forward last year. Give us an update and tell us where we are with that.
Great. So Paul recruited me to actually reinstate the bylaws activity.
Paul
Turner.
Okay, great.
Excuse me. Paul Turner recruited me to reinstate the bylaws activity. And so the first thing that we did is took a look at all of the revisions and recommendations from prior administrations. This body of work started in 2016. And prior ownership really did not have a lot of appetite for having those discussions. Our new ownership does. And so what we've done is we've taken those prior recommendations and tried to pull those together, as well as 10 or 12 items that there were still questions from the prior board. Had those discussions, and our committee has a little bit more work to do. We've got workshops calendared for January, February, and March. And with those workshops, I believe we'll be in a really good place to then present to the entire board and then take it out for focus groups with the club membership. I think that's an important step, so we get input on the changes that we want to make and priorities with our membership.
So you last year took all of the compiled all of the changes and edits that previous boards had suggested and wanted to institute, if I'm...
That's correct.
Okay.
And I call it the red and green and blue line versions that we received.
Yeah, right. And then once that happened, you pulled a committee together, and
Correct.
the committee then is looking at all of these revisions and selecting those that are most relevant, or are you looking at all of them?
We're looking at the ones that are most relevant.
Okay.
Again, we don't want to boil the ocean, so to speak.
Right.
But we want to make sure that we make changes that are applicable and relevant for today.
Okay, good, good. Well, I'm excited to see where we end up with this. And I love the fact that you're doing the focus groups, because one thing we have heard from our members is that they really do have thoughts and would like their input to be heard. So that's fabulous.
It's an important step because any change to the bylaws requires all membership to vote. And by having focus groups, you do get that buy-in and make sure that what you're presenting is something that is relevant to all.
Got it, good, good. All right, so what are some of the other key objectives for 2024 that you've got sort of on the board, and what are you and the other directors doing to meet those objectives?
The key objective that we have is communication.
Okay.
That is an area that we need to improve on, and I think we've already started trying to communicate early and often.
Okay.
We've communicated the board positions in terms. That communication has gone out. With each of our board meetings, I'm committing to having a high-level update 4 to 5 days after the board meeting,
Okay.
and that will have gone out last week. And then we still will have the full minutes that Kirby Hoffman takes at our board meetings.
Right.
But those are a month old. By the
Okay.
time that they get posted on the website, they're a month old.
And they're a month old because the directors have to approve them at the next meeting, is
Correct.
that correct? So they're
Correct.
always a meeting behind. Got
And I
it.
want to get something out earlier.
Good.
We also have plans to have a meet and greet with the board in February. We've got a couple of dates that we were throwing around, but hopefully that will be a nice opportunity for folks to not only meet people that they don't know that are on the board, but also talk about a few of the pending activities and issues that we're discussing at the board.
Great.
And give us direct feedback
Great.
at that. That will be held at the Members Clubhouse.
Okay.
Todd has agreed with Cody to provide us with a fireside chat in second quarter, so I will be facilitating that, and we will again provide more information. Matt is working with a small committee to reinstate a newsletter, probably on a quarterly basis, and make sure that our website is up to speed and has current photographs and some of those kind of enhancements.
Great, wonderful. You guys have it packed.
Yeah.
I love it. Any other outside of the world of communication, which is absolutely most critical, are there any other things that you've got on the board that you want to chat about? Or?
Yeah, you know, each one of our committees will have some challenges and some new things coming down. Mallory is looking at what are the important social events that we want to maintain, and what can we do to attract some of the lifestyles of the diverse population we have today. On the Green Committee and Tennis Committee, we have online tea times and online reservations that we want to make sure that we have member input as we roll those initiatives out. And it's really going to be much more convenient for members to make reservations and tea times using that technology. And then on the opposite side, whenever we have changes in the course, we want to make sure we get input, whether it's hole number 1 because of the bridge work that has been done on the south course, or any input to the cart path construction. We want to make sure that we're getting that input from membership.
Great.
And of course, there's always the tournaments, and we want to be upfront to introduce any contracts for tournament play that we already have in place.
Good, good, great. That's wonderful. Any other last words of wisdom or things you'd like to share?
I just want to say thank you for letting me join you on this venue. I've really appreciated the Silverado Today series. We've gotten to meet people that we wouldn't normally have gotten to meet across the campus, and we have some great folks at Silverado, and I think this has been a fantastic opportunity.
Great. Well, we're happy to have you, and congratulations. You are going to take us to the next level of which we need as members, and I think everybody out there is just thrilled that you're leading the helm. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.